What is up, YouTube? You know who it is. It's your boy Mims, and this is a My Team gameplay. I'm not going to showcase the full thing. It was mainly so I have something to talk over, to talk about the recent firing of Coach Avery Johnson, and whether if it was justified or warranted, and if I agree with it at all. So let's get into it. Avery Johnson was just fired yesterday, and whether I agree with that or not, I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I do not agree with that whatsoever, and let me tell you why I do not agree with this. For one, he won Coach of the Month for October and November. That's one thing. That's actually a pretty sick feat if you ask me. For another thing, the expectations for the Brooklyn Nets are just way too high, and not only that, they're 14-14. So the thing that got him fired is probably the fact that he went 3-7 within the past 10 games, and the loss during Christmas and the loss over Milwaukee was probably enough to make management think that they had enough with him. But I have a question. What would replacing Avery Johnson with PJ Carlesimo do for this franchise? You know, this coach, PJ Carlesimo, is most famous for being choked by Latrell Sprewell, which, if you ask me, I think that's pretty funny, but that's the thing he's most famous for. And not only that, at the end, Avery Johnson is still a really good coach. Don't forget, he took the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals in 2006, and he also won Coach of the Year that year, I believe. So let me move on to his son's reaction and his rant on Twitter. So you can see he's complaining that his dad was a great coach. The expectations were very high for this team. I do agree with his son on that. And I don't know about the last one. I'm sorry that the best players couldn't make open shots. That's his dad's fault totally. So I could kind of agree with Avery Johnson Jr. over here, but I can't 100% agree with some of his statements. But what bothers me the most of all is how his players completely were okay with him as a coach. They acknowledged how they were going through a little bit of a rough patch, and they didn't really think anything bad was going to happen, and this franchise is only going to become better and better. As you could see, when some fan asked Andre Black if the former Spurs point guard would be missed, he replied that yes, he was a great coach. So you kind of get the idea of how most of his players felt about him, and it's very unfortunate because I don't agree with the firing at all whatsoever. This team is not the Los Angeles Lakers, where you have 4 potential Hall of Famers trying to all give it one last go, and you're in a win now mentality. Deron Williams is fairly young. Brook Lopez is fairly young. Deron Williams just signed a new contract. Joe Johnson is about 30 right now. Gerald Wallace is about 32 right now. Like, I know those aren't exact numbers, but you are very far from the we must win or bust mentality. You're not the Lakers, where you have Steve Nash at age 38, Dwight Howard in his contract year, and Kobe Bryant, who's like 34 and is willing to retire at any moment right now. You're not in that stage, and it's really unfortunate that one of the better coaches in the NBA had to get fired due to something as silly and dumb as this. I do want to hear everybody's input on this firing, so please be sure to leave a comment telling me what you think. I will be reading the comments for this video. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe and follow your boy on Twitter. Besides that, it's your boy Mims, a very disappointed Mims, and I'm signing out.